Part 3. Under the Cypress Trees. Pale-skinned girl. Pale-skinned girl, sitting on the steps in a dirty-ass shirt, drunk on the gray air of the city and bricked-up buildings, boarded windows on the top floor, hide partial faces peering out, down at the pale-skinned girl. Wasted street rebel faking obsolescence, waiting for somebody, even that guy or anybody. Probably someone you can't trust. She remains a step ahead of impatience. Wealth has no beginning, and poverty has no end. The age of boot camp. The age of boot camp is here, like having a vulture on your arm and a patch on your eye, or a blindfold over both eyes, and a poisonous hyena tied to your ankle, or asphyxiation by carbon monoxide, while being burned at the stake, like going to work on Monday, thinking about going berserk with a 9mm. Persistence and resistance. Grain elevators, treatment centers, unopened cans of food, the Great Lakes. Confusion makes the heart grow fonder. Fonder of what? I'm not sure. Previously unknown religious information. As unstable as they get, I stayed up the entire night fighting with myself, playing solitary tug-of-war, trying to pull my arm out of the socket. Slamming it in the door broke the tender bone in the wrist, swelling up the fingertips like miniature salamanders, with giant plasma-filled heads, mouths drooling red over fingernail teeth, chipped into triangles and different-sized squares. Hammer and nails keep the door from swinging and keeps the extremity in place to remove the ungodly beast immediately from the collarbone. The aforementioned appendage has been given a trial with unprofessional judge and pre-medieval jury. Muscle, vein, and tendon branch off, brought before a court of law, a clandestine one, a court of corruption, and a court of malignancy, marked by ill will and spite. Here now I have passed out, forehead first, leaning over knees bent, while the decrepit object of sanctity remains squeezed tightly in between door and frame, marred and tainted by atrophy. My face droops inches from the linoleum and ceramic tile, black, white, and green with the occasional speck of mercurochrome crimson. Rolling out of consciousness, cartilage tearing into shreds, heart hanging heavy. Brooklyn prayer. Bold-faced liars and first-time felons, projected calculated risk, involving the transfiguration of supposed intent, best realized in its original form, a prisoner appeal fund scorched into discreet flagrance. Never much to decide. 1/3 of the way through the trifecta, battalions joust like guerrillas pick nits. The etiquette of ending it all. Can you blame me for cursing out so loud and wondering the synonym of retardation, riding one of the transit authorities' finest choking fume machines? These are the choices I have to make. Not much to decide. Get back in here and wash that hair. She chews the bark off of redwoods, It makes cross-eyed spinning motions, not entirely audible. Barring the retribution of the people who never see the light of day, groping for unifying theory, compelling yet ever so uneducated, easing into the bloodstream. West of the Rockies, razor-thin flowers grow through an opening in the side. Shingles line the trunk. The bosses have to eat too. They only call them pigs when you cook 'em. Then we call them in one at a time. Can you think of the words to explain an act of contrition? Can you think of the words? How to dissect a human heart. Misunderstand everything that comes into your path. Tell stories wrong with different, unrecognizable endings. Stare directly into the sun and call community outreach. Remember, children, money can't buy you love, but it will allow you to fuck the nastiest crack whore in the ghetto. Circle of distrust. Stinger must be worn at all times and kept in an orderly fashion. Aligned with other game pieces, drop anchors in a ship's seas, lucid takeoffs, and livid takeovers. Minotaur Rider. This is a story of a custom-made 357 with fangs. Maybe it's wreck and destroy. Commitment to stupidity and irony gone awry. Runt babies and subterfuge gone amok. Cain served as a racist. Torque chased servitude. The racing of angry machines, saved by the siren's wail of air-raid humans, sent halfway between medieval and Precambrian. Inferior and full of anxiety. It's not the solitary confinement I'm in. It's the solitary confinement in me. My headstone was kicked over way before I died. Visions of Buddha danced through the sky, skeletal to the point of no return. Who'll pick up the bill for the false faces? Who'll take out the trash? Sweet as a diabetic on a losing streak, stripped of all instruction and civil exaggeration. By scaffold and scum rugger, sitting in a rusted-out Maxima. From across the street, I can see the Walt Disney costumes. Missionary position. Please call this number. It makes the flies stop biting us. Floods bring out alligators, and crocodiles bring out potato salad. I'm sawing through your spinal cord and standing in waist-deep water. In major parts of the metro area, Lenny in the crew works for wildlife and fisheries. Mindy overflows her banks. Sandbags or not, Mary entertained her companions through the back entrance. Now she has more time to read what she finds on the ground. As we fall out onto impassable roads, driving to cancellations, I'd seen the shadows of persons, but didn't talk to them. A penny saved is a penny shoved up your ass. 13th Precinct. Stupid words for stupid worlds. Where's that black hole where all the bare knuckling goes? Childhood dialogue in a backroom closet. Only other keys that can't fit. Antagonizing my central nervous system. Honed down to a man with no skin. It all sears me. Poor, drunk, and fucked is the hand the reaper dealt. A lesbian goat picked up on a Friday, wandering the alleys, looking for people of doubtful virtue. More than violets. In this, a waste of time. Don't come visit. Don't come laughing. Don't come acting like you know. Just focus at the wall like a fun house mirror. Arrested in the act. A lover's question for asking for indictment. Dragging down the enforcer. Staring back at the intruder, I prepared the trip hammer. Modern medicine forgets about the back rooms, so we stand in the front, wave the hammer and sickle, fly high and die. Hammered, sick, hammered and sick, the day after yesterday. Committed to secrets. A lot of break-ins going on. There's no way I'm dreaming this dark silhouette. Pearls of wisdom and crimes of passion. A monumental celebration of hypocrisy. Were you born in a Catholic setting, or fried in a virgin olive oil wedding? Disheveled with discussion, wheelbarrow Stephanie with long drawn-out whiskers, lying face down in the fresh-cut grass. Amtrak trains roll by on the second minute to the hour, chasing a spider or jumping a boar. Acquiring a stepladder seems an amateur hobby these days. Let me shove the past in your face. Gray December. Bestowing memories of country miles. A tumbling truant, idle hermaphrodite. Reflecting pools of heat. Blasting candy apples at the Battle of Mothball Hill. A turn for the wrong. An overtly dishonest use of an orifice. Our rhinoceros swivels round and round, and Sagittarius suffices to participate in the over-drama. Withdrawn stamina creates subservience. Hoax in the system. Scarlet fever and rosewood red. Irish snakes and black coal treads. Ever feel guilty for not having any remorse? I couldn't see the Burmese pythons filling up my spirit. As an integral part of the board of directors, I have to ask you to leave. Why treat your aunt like a bomb-diffusing drone? Critical, irrational. Puffed up from loathing, the garage is blown open again. The explosion singed off my eyebrows, giving the experience of a scarecrow. Depreciation and underhanded gracefulness crash head-on with his unuseful demeanor, flawless and forbidden, and caked in frosting. Concussion machine process. Outhouse to cat house to penthouse. Philosophy of none higher. The burgundy truck drives uphill and farther on gravel roads, basing it all on a confiscation of photographs. From mail order functions. From retail person to friend turned foe. Saturation, dynamiting. Became a comic situation causing physical damage. Jacked up, cranked up. Street rubber burning up ice under the moon. Take a black-collar job that's dead-end forever. Resurface and visit Khmer Rouge, or for that matter, Baton Rouge. Cut on dotted line. Some people say they've had enough of silly love songs. I say I've had enough of inhaling industrial cleaning solvents. Eat, sleep, homicide. Break her heart, and I'll break your neck, you old polecat. Accept the fallout and find a designated driver, an errand clerk sent to collect a bill. We were better off without commercials. Dig beneath the silt to find out that. Voice modulation is a low-grade frequency squelch with closed-circuit broadcast. Destination, anywhere. You can take the obscenity out of the rakish irony, but you can't take the lifelike clown mask off the auctioneer. Married or not, you'll still lose your hair. I blow through 10 grand like it was Project Powder. Forgetfulness is my strong point, quoth the penguin. I'll never give a care. Bricked behind the wall plaster, using my long-distance company ID codes. Long live subatomic number 99. We delight in startling the sun-broiled hornets' nests beyond the maze of pyramid architecture. Pate thinner and pictures at an exhibition. The joke was a joke was a joke. Due to the inefficiency of our staff, I was born on the wrong end of a leash. A schemer with a cracked hairline femur bone. Rolled tobacco stick, dried and cut leaf. Drowning an antelope in the Gulf of Mexico. Flight of the flag of depravity. Pay no attention to those creeps behind the curtain, playing dress up. Trapped in the basement, 25 to life, all the longest hours. If smoke can be seen from the canyon, you'll be required to transfer your horses to another trainer. Stained and made flammable with diesel fuel. The message is mortality. Rejectable, repeatable, resentable. Full academics of the human body. Nap time for telepathy and futures past. A call goes out for nullification. And the flight of the flag of depravity. Defiant, raw willpower. The smallpox is in the barn, buttoned down in test tubes, carbon half-life machination. Open the vault and let out the jester. Buckle up the seatbelt, lady. Just tell her the restricted tidbits here and there. Crawling on elbows on all fours. The latest fashion from London is a noose draped jauntily around the neck. First, you count your dirty money. Second phase, let it rip you apart. Violate to violation. Full-fledged in setting a pace. A perfection of set patterns. Geared up to annoy Russians in 1930, Yanks are descended from thieves and whores. You must believe in the fury of it all. A makeshift encampment as our environment. Model policemen saying, no such thing as entrapment. Pigfire.com is selling used platinum fronts. 32 upper and lower. You can't guard against downtrodden angst. Litigation is for the deeply cynical. Probation will be over as quickly as your career. Move your feet to the military marching vibe. Not life's elaborate pranks. What happened is not regret. For the violence thus far, ironically, the instructions are in the package, but it's still difficult to assemble. And that's the whole idea of it. Dig your heels and terra firma, telling a sink or swim story. Cue the defense mechanism. My lower class freeze out. A poker game hosted by a cancerous ringleader, riddled with credit robbery and liver disease. In exchange for taking the nails out of my heart and keeping my foot in my mouth, what do forests bring in the foothills of North Carolina? They bring unsupervised anorexia. Set inside private destruction of dominant pressure. Nobody threw rocks at us, only the Grand Dragon. This home is a new blight on our skyline. Scientist versus guinea pig. In the match of the century, Texas death battle and barbed wire cage. In a scrap up to the neck. Ghastly tomb stealer with raisins for teeth, bunched up on a pallet. Putrid and insidious, tastes satiated by debris. 4-post, 50-cylinder, 10,000-watt final resting place. We wound up with the winning pennant. Then exhaust fumes made wheezing easier. Mothers of children tampering with padlocked crates are the next great virus epidemic. The vagabond life typified in a pinch. A sharp blow to the neck bone. Let nobody point the finger of those residing on queer streets and houses of bad circumstance. Doorknobs turn counterclockwise, and the low-lying river perishes. The sharp bite of angel democracy. Flick bits of meat into the jungle fire, all the while bearing down and sneering and smirking. A head full of malcontent, in league with a hound chewing his flea bites. A guy could make a slow-motion killing around here, refusing incoming calls for a crust of bread. Subsurface jaundice. Cracked ribs and chipped shards. Limp, withered ligament, shapeless and deflated. Cotton Mather, or Master. Rasputin, the cavern's tyrant despot. Engine wrench. Constricted and restricted to shape-shifting, and several kinds of cirrhosis, living in the fast lane, dying the drawn-out dream. Formulated motor skill blasphemation, charging the vessel's hull. Swords drawn at arm's length beneath the deck. Darkness awaits further orders. Power brokers break noses and speak tones of vandalism. Beating dents in the floorboards, rubies and diamonds and emeralds, growing under rocks, then flying into generators, allowing allowance for certain glaring errors. The depths of excess. Upon prying unlocked the intricately chiseled, heavy-lidded box, the stale smell of musty days gone by flooded the air of the motel room, triggering images and thoughts of what? I'm not sure. Possibly lives reincarnated, thus long lost. Contained in this rusty rectangular object were bullets and a cold metal revolver of unknown caliber, an ivory-handled, hook-bladed razor knife, probably used to slice open something that once had breath and a heartbeat, and a small brown and square bottle featuring a cork sealed with wax and an ominous label with a generic skull and crossbones stamped in gold ink on the side. What could be the history of this portable personal suicide kit? Basically, a toolbox with a special triad, an unholy trio of contents with a singular purpose that doesn't take a great genius to figure out. Here's to the bastards that have taken their own lives.